When I was 17 years old, I was a pizza delivery driver. It was New Year's Eve, 1977. I delivered several pizzas to a house that was filled with people that were obviously having a major good time. I knocked, and a very pretty woman answered the door. I handed her the pizzas, and she placed them on a table inside the door. She looked to be in her late 20s. She was wearing hip-hugger jeans and a loose t-shirt with no bra. She handed me a check that had already been made out for the cost of the pizzas. "I don't have cash for a tip," she said. I started to respond that it was okay, when she reached up and took my head, pulled me forward, and began to rub my face into her breasts. She then pulled me up and gave me the longest, wettest, most sensual kiss that I'd ever experienced up until that point in my life. When she stopped, she was smiling. "How was that?" she asked. "It was great," I responded. "Happy New Year." A guy came up behind her and asked, "What's going on?" She looked at him. "When I was little, my aunt took me to a restaurant to have pizza for the first time. After I took the first bite, I asked her, 'What is this?' And she said, 'It's pizza, a food from Italy.' And so I stood up in the middle of the restaurant and shouted, 'Thank God for the Italians,' and then wolfed down like 3 slices. I was traveling for work. They ordered pizza. I start looking for a knife and fork. They ask me what I'm looking for, so I tell them and get laughed at for the rest of the day. I don't really like pizza and almost never eat it. I don't know if it's funny, but it's a pizza memory that stands out in my mind years later. My workplace ordered pizza for lunch one day, and I offered to go pick it up. That went fine. It was like 3 pizzas and some side stuff, so a bit of a stack. I had it held pretty tight, but the building does not have automatic or ADA doors, and visibility from the inside isn't great unless you're at near the front desk, so there was no one I could motion for help. I decide to carefully reach for the door handle and hold the boxes as tight as I can, but I can feel the bottom box start to slip a little bit as I attempt to enter the building. So there I am, trying to wedge my foot in the door to pry it open a little wider, but also trying to use my leg to keep the bottom box from slipping before I can reach my hand back around it once the door is opened. I hobble into the building, down I go. 2/3 pizzas plus sides are fine. The bottom box popped and spilled. Of course, that is when someone starts coming to help. I felt bad about it, so I ordered a pizza like the one I dropped, but had it delivered. They came really quick, and the delivery guy knows the branch, so everyone was confused, and I admitted to buying another, so I was pulled aside and reimbursed. Lol. A college pizza delivery boy arrived at the house of Mr. Smith. He delivered the pizza to his trailer. After giving it to him, Mr. Smith asked, "What is the usual tip?" "Well," replied the youth, "this is my first trip here, but the other guys say if I get a quarter out of you, I'll be doing great." "Is that so?" snorted Mr. Smith. "Well, just to show them how wrong they are, here's $5. "Thanks," replied the youth. "I'll put this in my school fund." "What are you studying in school?" asked Larry. The lad smiled and said, "Applied psychology. Reminds me of telling my 6-year-old, who said she had a headache in her stomach, so she couldn't go to school on exam day." "I was hoping you'd say that. It means we can eat all the exam cake and ride the exam pony afterwards." So after, she wouldn't make eye contact with me until I told her she'd overlooked a bag of jelly beans from Christmas. They were here all the time. Did she share one? Did she